So this is a 1951 Ford Custom Deluxe. It says after World War II, Ford Motor Company management was in turmoil. Diesel Ford died in 1943, and during the war, many of Ford's top managers and engineers left the company. Henry, almost 80 years old and suffering from 2 strokes, assigned control of the company to his head of security, who had no management or automobile design experience. This is the 1951 Ford Custom Deluxe. Then you come here, you have the 1959 Diesel Ranger. It says, in 1919, Henry Ford's son, Edsel, became the president of Ford Motor Company. An innovative thinker, he focused on new body styles and mechanical innovations. During his career, he led the development of the Model A, both the Lincoln Zephyr and Continental, and started the Mercury division. Okay. You got that car here. Could take a look at the inside of that vehicle. Look at the interior, is really, really beautiful. This is a 1940 Packard Darien Victoria convertible. It says Howard Dutch Darien was an internationally known custom car designer. Originally from the U.S., he worked in Paris from 1922 to 1937, creating unique body designs. In 1937, he returned to the U.S. and in 1939 joined Packard as its lead designer. This vehicle, when new, was about 2,100 pounds. All right. 1940 Packard Darien Victoria convertible. Beautiful red car. Take a look at the inside. Beautiful, beautiful vehicle. This is a 1951 Ford Custom Deluxe. Let's look at the inside of this one. This is a 1936 Ford V8 Roadster. It says the early 1930s configured customer preferences for fully enclosed passenger areas. Ford V8s virtually ruled stock car racing for several years in the mid-1930s. Weight was 2,500 pounds. Factory price was about $560. It says a unique feature of this car is the rumble seat. It is the only accessible from the back of the car by stepping on the back bumper and then 2 very small steps. While it was mostly used for children who were helped in and out by moms and dads, it became commonly referred to as the mother-in-law seat. Okay. Take a look at that. And then take a look at the insides there. And then you got this over here. This is a 1941 Lincoln Continental Coupe. It says in the mid-1930s, auto manufacturers focused on smaller, more streamlined cars to improve gas mileage and to find that new look which would increase sales. Chrysler's 1935 Airflow was a technical success but was not popular with the buying public. This is a 1941 Lincoln Continental Coupe. It says when cars were first produced, the market was limited to wealthy buyers. Early cars required full-time mechanics and drivers. The driver sat up front on leather seats while the wealthy owner sat in enclosed compartments with expensive cloth seats. Henry Ford broke the mold with the Model T and produced cars that every man could buy. As the market matured, some manufacturers like Packard continued to serve the wealthy, while others like Saxon were geared to the larger mass markets. Cultural impact. This is kind of cool. Wow, I didn't know they had so much information. It says the Ford Model T was popular among farmers buying their first gasoline-powered engine, rural Americans going to church, town, and social and business activities, doctors and veterinarians who needed to get to their patients expediently. The Model T brought farmers to the city and city dwellers to the country to experience the grandness of it all more easily than a horse-drawn carriage. Model Ts weren't just used as cars, they could be used as stationary power sources. The movement of the T's rear drivers were used to run sawmills and combines. Model Ts were often used as tractors with aftermarket kits, allowing them to be used as plows and snowmobiles. Rail yards adapted Ts to move train cars about their tracks as well. The mighty Model T put the world on its wheels. It allowed a greater American economy to grow. We still live with its global impact today. Wow. I like that quote. Henry Ford says, "Don't spoil a good thing by changing it." Okay, lots of cars here. Okay. And we got this. Oh. It says automobile sales increased the demand for fuel and led to a more systematic way of delivering it. In 1914, Standard Oil of California opened a chain of 34 standardized stations along the West Coast. Major oil companies moved quickly to secure their own gas dealers, made possible by technical advances in gasoline pumps. Pumps were installed not only at the new service stations, but in front of hardware stores, feed companies, stables, and a variety of other retailers. It's kind of what we have today, the modern gas station. Wow. There's an old school engine here. Wow, there's so many cars here. I didn't think this place was this big. What's this beauty here? This is a 1937 Pierce Arrow town car. 1937 Pierce Arrow town car. Let's see what else we got here. This is a 1928 Studebaker Commander. Let's look at the inside. Studebaker. It's the inside of the interior area. It says in 1852, the Studebaker family opened a blacksmith shop that also built and sold horse-drawn carriages. From 1897 to 1910, they did the same with electrically powered automobiles. Factory price was about $1,500. This is a 1931 Ford Model A Roadster. Price when new was about $455. This is a 1922 Detroit Electric two-door coupe. It says in the early 1900s, electric cars had a solid market share because they didn't have to be cranked or even warmed up to be used. And they did not have the odors basically from gas-powered cars. Wow. It's interesting. So electric cars have been around since over 100 years ago. It's not a new concept. This is a 1904 auto runabout. It says in the late 1890s, William and Gustav Chat operated a business that produced and sold horse-drawn farm wagons and carriages. During the early 1900s, they studied combustion engines and the related horseless carriage phenomenon. In 1904, they installed a water-cooled 2-cylinder 10-horsepower gasoline engine into their best 2-passenger high-wheel buggy. Horsepower was 10. $680 was the price of this back in 1904. All right. Got some other cool looking vehicles here too. This is a 1984 Chrysler Laser XE. Price when new was about $9 grand back in 1984. Wow, it's a nice looking car. All right.